Check. 212, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Bearded Man, your favorite, the world's favorite Bearded Man. Bye. We're back. Another 2-month hiatus from the podcast. If I had an excuse, I would say it, but I don't have one. Other than myself, of not wanting to record or not having much to say. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy when I think about it, because for so long when I was getting into creating content after I graduated college in 2016 and then all the way through until the fall of 2019, content and creating and podcasting, vlogging and blogging, like it just kind of became part of my life in the sense that I was just constantly going. There was a lot of momentum in the sense of the domino effect of you start something, you put a lot of time and energy into it, and then it becomes part of your life that you don't know when to stop, because it's just, you're always moving forward. You're always looking for the next piece to create. And it's great. I look at my whole life right now as this whole new chapter. Ever since I took this job with Liquid I.V has been absolutely game changing. So much more balance in my life, so much more appreciation and time, and just, we'll get into Corona obviously at some point, but I there's no regrets. Let me first off saying there's no regrets having taken this career opportunity with Liquid I.V. But what I've come to realize and I've enjoyed is stepping away from, being I don't even know how to say the words, like, when you're trying to share your voice with the world and constantly doing it for so long, that it's actually important to step away and to just listen. Right? Just listen, especially with what's happening right now with Black Lives Matter, which we will also get into at some point. And so, yeah, I've really enjoyed the time of just being away and just listening to podcasts and reading books and watching documentaries and watching movies and watching comedy and just appreciating art and trying to just keep moving forward, keep growing. And so, yeah, it's literally Friday, July 3rd, 4:38 p.m. Sat outside, tanned my ass off for about 6 hours, and I said, you know what? It's time to fire up the mics. It's time to get back into the podcast game and at least share some knowledge and share with the world what's been happening with the Bearded Man for the all of 55 people that are going to listen to this podcast. But if you're of the 55, know that I appreciate you, so thank you for tuning in with your boy. With your boy. 100 plus days into quarantine, and me personally, I've definitely made the best of it. It's kind of teasing with how we go from things slowly starting to open back up, and then shit hits the fan, and now everything's closing again. So that's not good. That's no bueno. I don't know. Nobody knows how long this is going to last. And just wear a mask, dude. Like, just wear a mask. There's people out there right now that make the biggest deal about wearing masks. And it's like, bro, wear it, dude. Wear it. None of us are health experts. Just do the damn thing and do your part. 6 feet social distancing, put on the mask, use hand sanitizer. It's really not that hard. It's not hard, dude. Just wear the mask. Follow the guidelines, and hopefully we'll be open back up soon enough. But some people just don't want to listen. Anywho, I'm indifferent about it. Well, not indifferent. I want things to open back up. I want to get back to cruising around the streets of LA, baby. But in all honesty, I'm just going with the flow. Ever since this kind of happened, I was resisting it for the first couple weeks. And then after that, I just realized, yo, Bob, this is literally out of your control. So why stress it? Why get anxious about it? Why get angry? Why get worked up? Just go with the flow, my guy. I mean, I've been making the best of the time. It's been great working from home, being able to work with the boys. Got Dylan Reese Daddy cooking up in the studio, making them heater hits. We got a big record with Sammy Adams coming out soon. Stoked for the world to hear that. We as in Dylan. I'm just here to morally support him. And then we got my man 5-star Vintage Steve. Steve in the garage slinging thrift clothing, crushing the game. It's the best shit in the world. But I've honestly enjoyed the time just like being able to work from here, wake up, do my thing, and already be in the place where I'm working. And so, I don't know, just made the best of it. Just tried to make the best of it. Also, should have addressed this right off the rip, but didn't follow the order of my little outline that I got going on here. I didn't do visuals for this podcast, and you're asking why? Well, just trying to, dip my toes back into the podcast game, and there's something beautiful about just the audio versions, right? The visuals are so great, YouTube content, you can make social clips and all that cool jazz. There's also something beautiful about podcasting at its core is just listening. You're not getting distracted looking at my beautiful bearded face or anything that's happening in the background. I'm not worried about the lighting. I'm not worried about anything except the audio, right? I could literally be sitting here recording this butt-ass naked, and none of you would even know. You wouldn't know. I literally could be wearing nothing. I could be going commando 4:30 p.m. on a Friday in LA, and nobody here listening actually knows except me and my roommates. But my roommates are here because they're playing basketball. Therefore, nobody knows. But I could be commando right now. Legit could be commando. But I'm not. Because I'm smart, and I know I'm not supposed to be doing that. Puts me on the naughty list. So I don't know. I'm just slowly getting back into the rhythm of creating. I wrote a couple blogs the last couple days on itsthebeardedmaaaan.com, which I'll dive into in a little bit, which is kind of like the great way to step back into the game. But just trying to work my way back in the creating game and keep sharing my voice and keep, just doing this as a side passion project. Liquid I.V is my main focus. That's my number one priority. But there is downtime outside of when I'm not working, and I could be spending a little bit of time trying to create and trying to put my voice to the world. And I enjoy it. I enjoy sharing it. Might not get millions of plays, might not get, tons of followers on Instagram, but it feels good. Every time I post something, I feel like I'm taking weight off my shoulders, because it's just like I'm throwing this out there to the world, and whoever wants to listen, read, comment, interact, it's totally up to them. I can't control that, but I can control what I produce and what I have to say, and it feels good. It's the same reason why I started in the beginning. And so I think it's like I've talked about on this podcast, it's like my therapy session. You guys are strapped into the Bearded Man therapy session. Get it out of your tongue, Bob. Come on. Going off of Liquid I.V though, B.O.B, the Bearded Man got a new role. Let's go. Clap it up. Back towards the end of April, due to obviously the things that were happening with Corona, there was a lot of shifting internally at Liquid I.V, and so I went from the content producer of the company, not the, right? Sheesh, that sounds so okay, let's dial it back. Not the content producer, I wasn't the guy. I was essentially assistant editing, producing with my main man, Jamie. See, it's been a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I'm freaking stuttering. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm like, what? So just stick with me. So anyway, long story short, got transitioned into a new role. And that means that officially I am the podcast specialist for Liquid I.V. Clap it up. Let's go. Actually, when this was happening, when this opportunity got presented to me, it kind of was surreal to me to think that I was getting transitioned from a content producer to then a podcast specialist, because it was like, wow, the world really full circled. When I started podcasting in August of 2016, I had no idea that I was going to be a podcast specialist for Liquid I.V, for an amazing, incredibly successful company. Nobody told me that. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I wanted to do after college except figure it out. And I started driving Uber, started creating, and now I'm a freaking podcast specialist for this amazing company. And essentially what that is a podcast specialist is, for us at least, is I'm working with an agency to spend money on podcasts where we drop in ads. I'm sure you've listened to podcasts. You might have even heard ours, for podcasts like Joe Rogan, where companies spend money on ads because it's great brand placement. It's great opportunities for growth, and there's so much that comes from it. But what was so incredible about the opportunity is I was essentially stepping into a role where I was now going to be able to learn the business side of podcasting. Truthfully, I was never able to monetize really Purpose in the Youth or this or any of my content. Well, I mean, podcast specifically. I was never able to monetize it. And so for the last 2 months, this 2-ish plus months, it's been incredible to really learn the business side and being able to focus on where is the podcast industry going. That's literally part of my job. Like, I need to understand it. I need to see what's going on, and I have to, we work with this agency, and it's incredible. But just an amazing role. A lot of gratitude with this job. A lot of gratitude for the company that I work for, the people that make up this organization. Of course, the GOAT, Brandon Cohen, the greatest CEO, without a doubt. I'm going to do an episode just strictly on Brandon Cohen one day. I'm not even going to tell him, not going to post it or like tag him in anything. I'm just going to call the episode Brandon Cohen. And if he finds it, he finds it. But I'm going to do an episode on just like what I see behind the scenes and share very minimally just the characteristics of a successful and very, very passionate entrepreneur, because it's super inspiring to me. And I think there's a lot to learn from it, but that's another day for another episode. Anywho, it's just been incredible. And I've had a lot of gratitude for this opportunity. One thing I've been doing since working from home is every time I sit down to eat, I pause before I eat my meal and I just say 10 things out loud that I'm grateful for. Liquid IV always comes up as one of the 10. Most of the time, it's the same 10 every time I eat. It's just like repetition, but it's allowing me to stop thinking about, all right, I got to get back to work. I got to do this. Oh, I got to answer this text. I got to go on Instagram. Oh, I got to, whatever it is. Boom, stop, pause, be in the moment. Think about all the great things that are happening in your life. These 10 can be, I'm grateful for this career with Liquid IV. I'm grateful for this beautiful house I live in. I'm grateful for my health, grateful for my family, grateful for the people that I'm surrounded by, grateful for my mind and being a very curious person, grateful for all the hurdles I've had in my life, grateful for the city of Los Angeles. It's the same things, but it's like it's allowing me to remind myself of like, look at where you are, look at where you've come from, and be appreciative of it. And so this whole new role with Liquid IV has been incredible. We're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still feel like it's always such a work in progress. But yeah, the Bearded Maaaan is now the podcast specialist for Liquid IV. Let me say this. This is a big thing, because this wasn't true before in the last podcast. I can now hook you guys and gals up with a discount code. Let's go. Clap it up. 25% liquidiv.com at your order. 25%. The code is the Bearded Maaaan, one word. The Bearded Maaaan at checkout. Every single checkout. It's not your first order. It's not the first 3. It's not your first 5. Every single time you order at liquidiv.com and use my code, the Bearded Maaaan, it gets you 25% off. That's great. Also, that's now what I do too. I listen to ads. So as I'm saying this, I'm like thinking about all these ads that I listen to and all these podcasts that crush it that we work with. It's freaking dope. I love it. But yeah, now I can get you guys and gals some really dope discounts. 25%. Go try your product. My favorites are lemon lime hydration and energy multiplier. I usually drink 1 energy in the morning, and then I drink 2 to 3 hydration throughout the day, and it's bomb. Okay, so Black Lives Matter. This was something I wanted to do a whole podcast on by itself, but I truthfully don't feel comfortable because I'm still just so much listening to what's happening online. But I will say this: Black Lives Matter. There's a lot of changes that are currently happening. It's fortunately, bad incidents positively bring good things, right? So we're heading in a direction where things are changing. I stand for it as somebody who was raised in an environment in Chicopee, Massachusetts, where I went to high school with people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, blacks, whites, Spanish, Ukrainian, Polish, Russian, Muslim. I mean, I went to high school. It baffles me when I think about how mixed culture was, because it was so incredibly powerful growing up in that environment, and how it shaped me into who I am, and how it molded my perspective on people, that I didn't realize that there are people that are products of their environments where they went to high school with all people that look like them, and they think differently because of that, right? So, I'm hoping one day that I'll be able to really articulate what I want to say, but it's just see, this is what I'm saying. This is why I didn't want to talk. I didn't even want to record a podcast. I don't know how to put it into words, but I want to acknowledge what is happening in the world. I want to acknowledge it. And so, as a white male from Chicopee, Massachusetts, 26 years young, I'm responsible for helping make that change. And let me just say this. You might be frozen and stuck and not knowing what to do with what's happening in the world with all of this right now, and that's okay. I'm stuck, I'm frozen as well. But what I'm doing is I'm listening. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm watching incredible content as it pops up on my feeds. I'm paying attention to what's actually happening. I'm voting when I have the opportunity. When it comes, in the fall, I will be voting. I voted in 2016 and in 2012 when I was finally eligible and 18 to do so. I'm helping in the ways that I can. So what I would say to people out there that are stuck, frozen, not sure what to do, just listen. Listen to what's happening. Pay attention. Don't beat yourself up for not knowing what to do, but be aware and stay engaged and sign petitions and do your part and donate money if you have the ability to. Go to protests if you have the ability to. Just being aware is the number one important thing I want to say. We don't. I hope that people aren't just like blowing this off and like, oh, sick. Like, people are trying to make a change. I don't need to do anything. No, you do. You do. We all do, actually. I do. We all need to do our part. And so, yeah, it's very tough for me to put this into words because I don't understand how people can think and see somebody differently because of their skin color or because of where they were raised. You don't have to love everybody, but you can at least respect people enough and not treat people differently based on religion or the color of their skin or whatever it might be. So, actually, let's take a moment of silence right now for everything that is happening in Black Lives Matter. And as a moment of silence to those who have lost their lives because of what's happened, and also to pay respect to, if you don't know what to do, to listen. Moment of silence, please. Thank you. All right, so continuing on with today's schedule. It's now 5 p.m. on a Friday in Los Angeles. I'm sitting here in my house, solo dolo, recording this podcast. Hoping you guys and gals haven't turned off the freaking podcast yet. A couple days ago, I just was done working for the day, and I just said, "Screw it, Bobby. It's time to get the gears back in motion." And I never was a big writer. I haven't really wrote a lot of blogs back in the last couple of years, but I've enjoyed it. I think it's real. Like, if you get into a rhythm and you get into that flow and you have something you want to talk about, it's nice. You put on some music and you just go. It's the very least production type way to share your voice with, right? When it's podcasting with cameras and you got to have the lighting and you got to make sure nobody's interrupting you, and it's got to be quiet. There's a lot of different layers you have to boxes you have to check off before you can even start the damn thing. And that's why I wanted to do this today without even visuals. I don't want to think about, I don't even want to look at anything. I just want people to listen. And so blogging is another great way where it's like you can be anywhere in the world, and as long as you have something to write down on, you can do it. And so I just started writing, and it was kind of like a not a letter to myself, but it was a reminder to myself that that you got to think less and you got to do more, Bobby. We tend to get caught up in our head and our thoughts about overthinking everything. And I've talked about it on previous podcasts, we have a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. And the devil wants us, is our biggest critic. The angel wants us to keep going and try the things that we want to try. And so yeah, I kind of dove into it on the blog post. And so I think a good way for me to keep posting these podcasts is I recognize some people don't read articles or blogs. And I enjoy both. I'm trying to become a stronger writer, and I'm also trying to become a stronger speaker, podcaster. So the blogs allow me to sit down and think through my thoughts and then share it. And then I think a good way to bring that to the podcast audience for those who are on the go and busy, don't really have the time to sit and read something or don't really care to read. It might be a good way to kind of drop these little gems here and there through audio. And definitely think it'd be dope to get some guests on here at some point too, but not sure who, and I want to make sure it's like super dope. But yeah, think less, do more. And that's kind of why I'm doing this podcast right now, 5 p.m. on a Friday afternoon in LA. Jarek's probably going to listen to this podcast and name his next single after it. It's all good. We're still boys. But we get so caught up in our own head. And when I say we, I'm really specifically talking about me, but I'm saying we because I hope other people that are listening feel me on that. There's never the right time. You know, I could have easily sat here and be like, I'll do this podcast next week, or I'll start up in August. It's just like we always make up these dates in our mind, like, oh, if only I had blank, then I could do it. It's like, no, do it now. And that's why I'm doing it. I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to fire up the mics and let it roll and just go with the flow, because there's never a right time. And doing the work, the only way to get into that flow, into that process, and when the momentum starts to build, is just showing up and finally just shutting that voice off in your head that says like, you could do it tomorrow, or like, you don't need to do this, or like, you're not going to be great. Just doing the work that's where you get really good at the craft. And I think we all have it inside us to become really great at anything if we're able to consistently show up and keep doing that thing over and over and over, and making adjustments and finding ways to learn and grow. And of course, like learning from mistakes and all that stuff, but you got to show up. And to me, it's like, there's no better time to pick up the mic or start typing a blog than now. Just don't overthink about it. Don't worry about where you've been for the last couple months and you haven't been really doing any of this. Just go, just start and go. You know, in the blog that I wrote, I made a comment of how we can, you know, maybe someone that's listening has got pulled away from doing the thing they really wanted to do, from other opportunities, career opportunities, because of school, because of relationships, because of a death in a family, because of a relation, like anything. It could be literally anything. You got pulled away. Now it's so hard to get back into that rhythm. Just do it. Nike said it best. Just do it. Get back into it. We're our biggest critic. We're our biggest enemy. But the thing is the momentum comes with that, with doing it consistently. Consistency is, goddamn, that's such a powerful word, consistency. Because when you stay consistent long enough, that's how you build that momentum. All the successful people that I've ever interviewed or like watched online, these people just have stayed consistent long enough. And I think what happens is, and I noticed this within my own career, when I was first getting started, I was so eager to like go, and I wanted to be like 3 years ahead. And you just want to get through the process fast enough because you have this vision in your mind, and you just want other people to see it come to fruition. And at some point, you just realize that it's going to take time. There's no question about it. There's only so much work you can do in a day, and it's going to take some time to really build out or do the thing you want to do, or create something, or get really sharp with the craft. And once you recognize that it's going to take a long time, you allow it to take that time. Matt D'Avella, great creative filmmaker. He was the creator behind The Minimalist. I had him on Purpose in the Youth back in 2018. But he talked about that in one of his most recent YouTube videos, of just how, like, at some point you accept that doing anything great takes time. And so, yeah, you got to get back on the horse. You got to get back to doing the thing and just consistently show up every single day. Also, you can hear the sirens going off. Not sure what's going on around these neck of the woods, but we got the police rolling through. It's probably because I'm cooking up so much content. Right here. Come get me, baby. We're cooking up. Cooking up that high quality content. Lock me up, Sergeant. JK. I will say this last, though. This whole concept of thinking less and doing more. Think less, do more. Think less, do more. Think less, do more. That's not the last thing I want to say. Something that I always remind myself of is that it's better. Anytime I have this situation where I'm like, I don't know, to go this way or go that way, to give up or to not, or to try or to not try at all. My thing is, I always look at it as like, I can live the rest of my life knowing I at least went for something, than to live the rest of my life going, man, I wonder what would have happened if I would have done X. That bothers me. That's hard for me to like swallow because I'll never truly know. At least if I go for something, if I just throw myself out there and I try, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I can live with that. I don't feel like I took an L. I don't feel like I'm a loser. I don't feel like I don't actually feel anything except, wow, okay, I tried, didn't work. That's all good. See a cute girl, maybe go up to the bar, say hello to her, maybe slide through her Instagram DM. I get left on scene, bet. It's all good, baby. I tried. I'm all good. Guess what? Back to the line, shoot another shot somewhere another time. It's all good. It's all gravy. There was a girl when I was in college, right when I was about to graduate, fell head over heels for this beautiful girl. And I knew that I shouldn't ask her to become the Bearded Maaan's girlfriend. But something in my mind said, I know the answer to this, but if I don't just throw it out there, I'm going to hate knowing for the rest of my life that I didn't try. And so I took my shot. I got declined. I got blocked, dude. My ball got sent to the other side of the court. But I kept moving. I kept grooving. And it's okay knowing that I can look back on that moment and go, hey, you know what? At least you took your shot, Bob. At least you took your shot. And so that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. We got to strip away these thoughts in our head that get us to stop moving forward with doing the things that we actually want to do. We need to stop being our biggest critic, our biggest enemy. We need to sharpen that sword, and we need to get back to war with ourselves. We are at war against ourselves, not with the people on social media, not with the hater that left a comment on your YouTube channel, not with the person that gave you a bad look, not the person that's talking trash. It's a you versus you game. It's a me versus me game. I don't really care like what other people have to say about me. It just sounds weird to say. Like I don't like saying things like that, but it's truthful. It's me versus me. I am against myself. I'm going up against myself. If I can beat this war against myself, if I can get myself to get back into podcasting, write a few blogs, share my voice with people, not care what the analytics show, if I just keep doing that, punching that bag, I'm bound to get to somewhere that I never imagined it being. Never imagined to be working for Liquid I.V, for such a great company, to finally have some stability in my life, to have balance, to be picking up old passions, getting back on the golf course, hitting balls in the woods, losing balls left and right on the course. Love it. Been to the beach more in the last month when we were able to go to the beach. I was going there to run. I was at the beach more in the last month than I was in the last 3 years of living in LA. I've been finally living. Wouldn't have gotten here if I didn't just keep pushing with that podcast, Purposing the Youth. I never knew where it was going to take me. I just kept going, and it took me here. Now I'm here doing It's the Bearded Maaaan podcast. No idea where this is going to take me. Going to keep doing it. Don't know where the blogs are going to take me. Going to keep doing it. No idea where I'm going with Liquid I.V. Going to keep killing it. That's what it's all about, baby. Thinking less and doing more. That's the name of the game. Big ask for you guys and gals before we dip out of this episode. Please head to the iTunes podcast app. Leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed the podcast. We're at 33. Shout out to Larry Bird. Shout out to my pops, too. Just retired from 32 years of working for the state of Massachusetts. Bird Hobart. retired. Proud of you, Pops. Thank you for everything you've done. Putting food on the table, putting a roof over our head for me and myself and my sister, and helping my mother. Means the world to me. Can't wait to celebrate with this man when I'm back in Massachusetts next week. Let's go! Freaking back to MA after 8 months. About to get it. We're at 33 views. Let's get to 50. Let's run it up. Go to the iTunes podcast app. It's the Bearded Maaaan. Leave a review. Tell me honestly what you're thinking of this podcast. If you hate it, tell me. If you love it, tell me. If you think it's interesting, tell me. Anything, just leave a review. Thank you so much. Also, another great way, share it out on your IG story, tagging me at Bobby, B-O, 3 B's, 4 A's, and a Y. Got to get this shit rocking and rolling. Get it going again. Even 11 episodes deep, but I'm feeling good, baby. We're about to be back in the game. Well, by the time you're hearing this, I hope you guys and gals had a great 4th of July weekend. I'm about to get mine started right now, so you best believe I'll be soaking up them sun rays, having a couple cold beverages, adult beverages for you beautiful people. But I hope everyone's doing well wherever you are in the world. I hope you're healthy and safe. Once again, please just do your part with everything that's happening. Corona-wise, follow 6 feet distancing, social distancing, wear a mask, use hand sanitizer, and just keep your distance between people. When it comes to Black Lives Matter, pay attention, listen, be aware, do your part, whatever that might be. Don't let yourself get worked up or overwhelmed, not knowing what or being frozen. If you don't know what to do, just listen. Just be aware and speak up for when somebody's saying something that's not fair or right. Speak up. Be an ally. Be somebody that can be there to support people that are going through this. And I'm here as well. If anyone via social media has nobody to talk to, hit me up. Slide through my DMs. I'm a friendly guy. I hope you guys know that. I'm the Bearded Maaaan with, friendly guy. But truthfully, listen up for Black Lives Matter, and please do your part with Corona. Think less and do more. One step at a time, ladies and gentlemen. You got this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Talk to you guys and gals real soon. See ya!